your Will DuPage, Kendall County, and Chicagoland real estate agent and consultant, here to talk about what happens to home values when interest rates go down. When interest rates drop, homes instantly become more affordable. And the reason for that is because your interest rate has a direct tie to what your current monthly mortgage payment is. When interest rates drop by about 0.5%, buyers on average can gain up to 5% in buying power. So what that means is that a buyer who is looking for a $400,000 home can now look for a home up to $420,000 with no change in their monthly mortgage payment. Because of the way that math works out, more homes become more accessible to more buyers. The last couple of years, the biggest challenge for buyers has been affordability. And as interest rates come down and homes become more affordable, a lot of those buyers are going to re-enter the buying pool. Currently, there's a huge backlog of buyers that are either renting, staying with friends and family, or otherwise in a less than ideal living situation because they want to buy a home and haven't been able to because of affordability challenges. When interest rates come down and those monthly mortgage payments become more accessible, more buyers enter the buyer pool. Because you have more buyers entering the buyer pool, you will start to have a mismatch in supply and demand. Economics 101 states that when supply does not keep up with demand, costs will increase. So more buyers entering the buyer pool means home values go up. As interest rates reduce, you will start to see some sellers decide to list their properties. A lot of sellers have been really hesitant to list their homes because they're locked into interest rates that are below 5%. Some are even below 3%. And the difference between their current monthly mortgage payment and the monthly mortgage payment they would be absorbing on a new property is a little jarring. So as interest rates come down, that difference shrinks, and it may make more sense for sellers to decide to sell their home and move into a property that better fits their needs. That process is slow though. Even under the best of circumstances, a seller may decide to sell today and their property probably isn't coming on the market for at least 4 weeks. Sometimes it's up to 8 to 10 months depending on how much preparation they need to do. Because it's a lot easier for buyers to enter the buyer pool than it is for sellers to enter the seller pool, you will see that mismatch in supply and demand hang out for longer than you may expect. That's going to cause home values to rise pretty consistently. Over time, more sellers will enter the marketplace, and you'll start to see property values level off, assuming that those sellers do come to market without a subsequent increase in buyers. The challenge we have with that is there is a huge population of young folks that are hoping to buy homes, simultaneously a huge population of older people that are looking to sell and downsize who will also need to buy homes. So for those people, every one home that comes on the market is also matched with a buyer entering the market, which makes it a little bit challenging for home values to start to soften, especially here in Chicagoland where we don't have a ton of room for new construction. And when we are building new construction, it is very, very expensive